everybody. Sean, Amy, always
Happy
a
New
pleasure
Year.
to have you guys on.
Good to see you.
Sean, you look good in 2025 so
I
far.
do, yes.
Rocking the tie. I love it.
I
It's the
know.
New year, new you.
Dressed to impress.
I love it.
There you go. I'm proud to be an American from sea to shining sea.
No,
Oh,
it's O Canada.
Oh, okay.
We're Canadian.
We're still Canadian, guys.
Roger
Enough.
that.
Enough.
Okay, sorry.
Well, that's
So-
what we're going to talk about today.
What's going on, guys? What's happening in 2025?
No
What's the
shortage
Durkin
of
Dietz group?
headlines within this first week of 2025.
You know, the news feed was coming at us like we were drinking out of a fire hose over
yeah.
the last 3 or 4 weeks. It was
Yeah.
pretty crazy. And, you know, I think it's interesting. There's a lot of rhetoric, obviously, coming down from south of the border that we all know about. I don't think I have to go into with any detail. We all know what's going on in federal politics. And I think when you see news feeds the way they are happening, it tends to make you a little anxious.
Yeah.
And it may
As a
compel
Canadian,
you to make decisions that might not be in your best long-term interest.
Right.
Agreed.
And I think what I'm reinforcing when I'm talking with people is don't change your long-term focus because of what's going on right now.
No.
And particularly of relevance from an investment standpoint, if you own high-quality, great companies that compete globally at the highest level, there's no need to change course
Yeah,
at
don't
this
panic.
point in time.
Don't
Don't panic.
But you're right. The news feed, like, I find myself, like, I'm getting fired up. Like, if I hear 51st state, I'm getting I'm starting to get a little angry about it. I'm like, I'm Canadian and I'm proud to be Canadian. Enough.
Well, it's good to
Somebody
hear.
say that.
It's good to hear. I mean, look,
Totally. We have a great country.
We
I
do.
think Donald Trump, unintentionally, mind you, is doing us a favor. He's waking us up.
Yeah.
We're creating a sense of unity, a sense of nationalism, a sense of pride in our country.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great things that we have in this country. We have an educated workforce.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We have very strong infrastructure.
Right.
We have a young-ish population.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we also have something that maybe 2 or 3 other countries in the world have an abundance of, which is resources the world needs.
Right. Right.
And so at the end, and we also have strong property rights and so on and so forth. So we have a strong competitive offering globally that I think, again, unintentionally Donald Trump is forcing us to recognize is we got to get serious as a country.
Yeah.
And we got to start moving forward accordingly and focus
Absolutely.
on the things that make sense, not just for us sitting at this table, but our children, our grandchildren,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
We owe it to ourselves to stand up and be counted.
It's kind of nice to see Canadians get fired up, though, isn't it? It's,
Yeah,
it's
I
kind
agree.
of shake us up a little bit. So thank you, Donald. It's we can thank you for something right now.
I think like again, Donald, like, and look, Bill Maher famously calls it Trump derangement syndrome, and I refuse. And
Trump derangement syndrome.
Trump derangement syndrome,
that.
all that is basically anytime Trump says something, you go crazy about it. I refuse to fall for it this time.
Yeah.
Because if you do fall for it, it's going to be a long 4 years.
Right. Right.
You have to ignore a lot of
The
it.
guy's saying he wants to take over Greenland.
Just
too funny.
Yeah.
That's
like
Trump being Trump.
Monopoly.
Yeah, sure.
So what's your guys' message for investors for 2024? Our clients, investors, the public. Sorry, not 2024, 2025. I'm still living in the past here.
I know.
What's the message for 2025? For example, a brief example, we just had a prime minister announce that that he will resign as soon as the Liberal Party finds a new leader, which would probably trigger an election maybe March or around March, April. What's the news?
So I'm no political scientist.
Absolutely.
So I really don't know what the next year is going to hold politically. I mean, obviously, Trudeau, which was within his right, prorogued or went into prorogation with Parliament. So, and they're going to come back by the end of March. Presumably, there'll be a new Liberal leader in place. From there, it's anyone's guess how things are going to proceed. All we do know is in or around October 10th, 2025, there has to be an election.
That's right.
What happens between now and then is anyone's guess.
Yeah.
That said, you have to kind of be pragmatic in this type of environment.
Yeah.
Okay. Donald Trump and the Republicans got elected with a mandate. There's no doubt about that. And so you also need to understand that, in my view anyways, Donald Trump will never intentionally run counter to his own best interests. He won't do it.
Yeah.
So you want to be in areas that Donald Trump is going to either own or he's going to target. So what is Donald Trump all about and the Republicans all about? Deregulation. They want to be energy self-sufficient to the extent they can, and they want to trade with partners that they deem as safe.
Yeah.
So you want to own companies or investments in the areas that stand to benefit from deregulation, energy self-sufficiency, and trading partners that are deemed is safe.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
I mean, Amy, thoughts?
The same thing, and to your point, just don't get overly worked up by the headlines. Like, it's not like we're going to flip your portfolio all upside down and change. Like these businesses adjust, no matter who's in power or what happens politically. Businesses are smart; they adjust and they move with the times, and that's why they've been around for a long, long time. So they're going to continue to do the same thing.
I guarantee you, Satya and Nutella, Microsoft and his executive team are not pivoting 100% based on what's going on over the last three weeks or month or two. They're
It's
not.
true. It's true.
Well, it'll be an interesting.
But it's a good time of the year. It kind of wakes people up in the headlines is to think about your own outlook. Like, what are the things that you're doing within your career, within your family, within your circumstance? What does that look like? What are the things that you can control? And what does your outlook like?
And what excites you?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Like we get too caught up in the macro.
All
We
the
ignore all the
negative.
good stuff that's
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on
yeah.
within our own individual
Yeah.
lives, right?
So
Life
true.
is good. Our country's great.
Enjoy life a bit.
I know. It's going to be a good new year. It
And
will be.
review, look, this is a great time of the year. We hear it every year, but it's worth repeating.
Yep.
Understand your risk tolerances.
Yep.
Review your portfolio from an asset allocation standpoint.
Yep.
Make sure you know what you own and why you own it.
Yep.
And then revisit again your outlook.
Yeah.
What
Look
are
at your own saving
revisit your outlook.
strategies. It's we're getting tons of calls right now. It's contribution season. Everybody's doing RSPs, TFSAs, the FHSA. If you haven't done any of these things, look into them, chat with somebody about them.
Yeah, and I think if you're speaking with your children, if you haven't already done so, I mean, one of the things that when I'm talking with clients' children, I keep reinforcing, I ask them the question, what is your biggest expense in life? And oftentimes I hear mortgage or your home
Or rent.
or rent.
Yeah.
It's not, it's tax.
Yeah.
So, educate your children to the extent, and we're happy to help anywhere we can around those tools that are available to them right now.
Absolutely.
To help them reduce their tax burden and get money working for them
Yes.
rather than working for some form of government.
Yeah.
Because Scott Galloway, he's a podcaster and a professor at New York University down in the United States. But he famously said, and I love this line, he goes, your obligation to avoid tax is the very same as a prisoner of war's obligation to break out of that prison.
Right.
Okay, you have the same obligation.
Yeah.
So learn all about tax, why it's the biggest expense you're ever going to face in your lifetime, and how it erodes your biggest asset when you're young, which is your age, and getting compounding working for you early.
Absolutely. Yep. It's true.
Sean with the wisdom always.
I'm SMRT.
Love it.
Jalal, you got to be nicer to me. I was the fastest reader in the slow reader class. I didn't know if you knew that.
That's Jalal's New Year's resolution. Be nicer,
nicer.
to Sean. And Sean is to wear a tie more often.
Well,
There
we're
you go.
also excited. We have a new team member on
We
our
do.
team.
We have a new team
Daniela.
member.
do.
Daniela has joined us. Yeah, Sean.
What?
You got to meet her. She's here.
She's great.
Where?
She's great.
Is that person there? Oh, hi. Nice to meet you, Daniela.
It's a new team member. We're busy. We're growing. It's going to be a good year for us.
Looking forward
a lot
to
of
it.
positive things. to
Very
look
stoked for
forward to.
2025.
All the best, everybody, in the coming year.